Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Speakeasy. I am still Paul F. Tompkins. My guest today is an actor whom you will recognize from his role as Glenn on AMC's The Walking Dead. Please say hello to Steve Yeun. Steve, hello.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Wow. This is a flip?
Flip, as corrected by the gentleman in
Yeah.
New York. Yes.
What did you think it was before?
I thought it was a fizz. I thought it was a whiskey fizz.
Right. And so you ordered this at a bar in New York.
I did. And I was like, can I have a gin fizz, please? He's like, can you describe it? And I'm like, I think it has like egg whites in it. Do you mean a flip? And I just, the face and then the stay of like the chin goes back into your neck like this. I was like, whatever you call it, just get me one of those.
There's no need for contempt, sir.
No, there's no need for your chin to go that far back into your neck. No, it's unnecessary.
I like it. It's got a nice red stripe down the middle.
Yeah, this is actually right in my wheelhouse of like order and OCD.
So is everything, oh my God, I want to make sure everything's all right for you on the table.
That's perfect, right there.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was not in diamond formation.
And
there we go.
And honestly, when we first got this, the line was slightly off center. I was kind of bugged by it, but I drank it to center. So I'm never sip this again.
Drinking to center the Steve Yeun. You play Glenn on The Walking Dead.
Yes.
You were one of two cast members who was a reader of the graphic novel. And who was the other one?
Chandler Riggs.
And who does he play again?
He plays Carl.
Oh, the little boy.
Little boy. Yes. Yes.
So it must have been quite an adjustment for you to make being on the inside of the TV show.
Well, actually, first season, I remember, coming in, understanding up to about issue 60 or 70, and I was like, oh, this thing is so great. I can't wait to be a part of this. And then you get the scripts and you're like, this is not what happened. And then you're like, what's going on? Like, this is not what happened, guys. Like, what are we doing? Let's.
You're making a mistake.
Yeah. Write this up again. Write this up. And that was my first gut instinct as like a comic book nerd. But you realize like Robert Kirkman's behind it. And Frank Darabont and Glenn Mazzara and Scott Gimple, and it's gonna be great. It's good.
Having Robert Kirkman be a presence in this production was sort of like, well, I guess if he says it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, who better than the guy that wrote the original? So yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
On the show, your character Glenn wears this baseball cap, and it's an iconic accessory for Glenn. He always has this cap on. And it occurred to me, you are probably the only actor who is recognized less if you're not wearing a baseball cap.
Yeah.
Can you even go out with a ball cap on anymore?
I don't have any more. I don't wear them anymore. Actually, no, I do. I don't know what it is about my face that will get me recognized, because I walk around and nobody would know who I am, which is great. Right. And then I was wearing a ball cap, sunglasses, and like a scarf or something. And they're like, Glenn. I'm like, Glenn doesn't have sunglasses. He doesn't wear a scarf. Like, does he have, maybe they just recognize this, like here? Right here. I have no idea. But
when they recognize you, is it Steve or is it Glenn?
Maybe the access to your phone has made people slightly more polite. Because they'll be like, that's Glenn, but I know not to say Glenn because I know that he might be annoyed at that. So they Google my name, and then they'll butcher my last name or something like that. So they'll be like, Steven Yeun or something. They're polite, so it's good.
I was talking with Michael Rooker, and he was saying that the fans are very devoted fans. Like people are into the show, and he said they're very effusive, but by and large they're pretty nice. Has that been your experience as well?
I've yet to run into anyone that has taken the time out to come up to me and give me a disparaging comment. Like, I really did not enjoy your take on Glenn. People don't do that. They're typically like, I love the show, I love your character, and they're sweet.
Are people nice to you online?
Yeah.
I know that you're on Instagram.
Oh.
You put some pictures out there.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I feel this is a greater discussion of like what you are allowed to do if you are in the public eye.
Yes.
They maybe think that I'm only capable of like wielding an axe or wearing a cap. But for me, I like photography, so like I'll take a picture of my I took a picture of my blinds, and it's perfectly symmetrical. And I was like, I love it because it's so square on the square and each line fits.
Right.
And I was proud of the picture. But then the people that are the most voiced on Instagram and all those social networks are like 12 to 13-year-old kids. Just 12 to 13.
Right.
Just in between.
Right.
Just that
That's
1
the
year.
year they get it out of their system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they have like terrible things to say, like, Steve, you're a cool dude, but this is some hipster bullshit, bro. And you're like, sorry.
Why don't you say it to my face, son?
He can't because he's in like Tallahassee.
But do you feel if you went to Tallahassee and that kid saw you at the food court, he'd go up and say, excuse me, Steve, I just have to say.
I really disagree with your proportions and the lighting that you chose.
I don't always express myself well online. I can be brusque at times.
It's like, hold on, my mother's calling me. I have to go back to the car. So I don't know. It's
little kids, the worst. Absolute
the
worst.
worst. Yeah.
I'll say it to their faces. You're the worst, little kids.
But thank you for watching.
But also thank you for watching. You started out in comedy.
In college, yes.
Yeah. And you tried out for, what was the name of the group?
Monkapult.
Yeah,
right?
The names of improv groups.
In college, and then you graduate to like you're like, you know what? Those college names are BS. Like Sir Laughs a Lot. I don't know what it is.
Sure.
Laugh-a-pult or Monkapult.
Monkapult.
But then it becomes like Boner Party or like, I don't know. There's
The Noble Experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're done, you're like, Steve and Howie.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's just us two improvising. Just
Yeah.
Steve and Howie improvising. That's it.
So the first time you tried out, didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Was it crushing the first time you didn't make it?
Not really, because I was so bad.
Did you know?
Oh yeah. As soon as we got out there, I was like, oh, this is a poor choice. Just looking at the lights, I was like, this is a bad idea. But then I took a class, and it was a great experience, and that kind of got me understanding the principles of it all, to not be attention whore
Right.
on stage.
Were you a big comedy fan when you were a kid?
I definitely didn't nerd out as hard as some people do. I think I was a late bloomer in that. I definitely love to tell stories. I'd love to try to make people laugh. But other than that, I think when I got into college and I saw the first show, I was just like, those people are super cool. Cool. So it looked just looking fun.
Oh, it can be a magical thing when you see people that are really connecting. It's an amazing thing to watch improv.
I think in college it's the greatest because it's the most pure in terms of all you're doing it for is to build the idea of camaraderie and doing it together and trying to have a group mind.
Yeah.
Even if it's really terrible improv.
Right.
And the people that are watching are all your friends that are cheering super loud for you. I remember walking off those stages in college and being like, guys, we're going to SNL. All of us were going to Saturday Night Live.
I mean, you heard it up.
Yeah. Did you guys hear them outside Severn Hall 202? They were going crazy. And then you come to Chicago and you get the rudest awakening of your life.
Well, because it's Improv Central there.
Yeah.
And you started at Second City.
Second City, IO. I did a little bit at Annoyance. Yeah.
When's the last time you got on stage doing improv?
3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was it?
I still play at IO West.
On a regular basis?
Once when I'm in town, I play with my friend Howie Kramer. We do it once a week.
Oh, I know Howie Kramer.
Do you know Howie Kramer?
Yes.
Him and I and a couple of friends of ours used to have a group in Chicago called Hands. And, right? All right. I didn't help the cause of the names here. Hands. What it was our names.
Right.
Howie.
That's fine.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely. You shoot in Atlanta, The Walking Dead. And how long are you in Atlanta for a season?
Like 7 months.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
7 months out of the year.
Wow. That's a big time commitment.
That's a large time commitment.
I mean, have you grown to love the city?
Atlanta's great.
Yeah.
Atlanta has a lot of charm, really sweet people, and great food.
When you live in a place that long, does that start to feel like home to you?
I don't know. I think home. It's not where you are, but who you're with. So it's
Right.
it's like my friends are in LA or Michigan or Chicago.
Right.
My cast are my friends, and that's what keeps me sane there. But
Yeah.
definitely I miss.
Do you have like a group of Atlanta friends now? Because it's been how many seasons?
It's been 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's a long time.
This is gonna sound like I'm justifying why I have no friends, but actually, we had to move a lot. So first season, I lived in Atlanta proper.
Right.
And then we all moved about 45 minutes south to Noonan, Georgia, which is a really quaint town, but not much going on.
Right.
And then the next season, we realized we don't want to live there. Like, not for the people or the area, but we also wanted to experience Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we got back up there and made the commute every day. So I just drove 45 minutes every day back and forth.
Oh, it's like living in Los Angeles.
That's true. That's how I gotta think about it. But I guess I had to start this year, and I did meet some really cool people.
Right.
But Yeah, I have no friends. I have no friends.
Well, I'm sure everybody in Atlanta's probably used to you guys by now, right?
I don't know. I feel like there's still like a veil of like, what are you doing in my coffee shop? You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be making my show that I watch. So I was like, okay.
Have you dealt with people being resentful of like the street being blocked off or something like that?
First season, we shut down like parts of downtown, and
Right.
they called the cops because they thought people were actually shooting in the streets and stuff like that. But I think people are just generally really excited about the show, and if it shuts down like their street, they're like, cool, like I'll stand there and take some pictures. So it's nice, yeah.
Do you feel that you would be prepared for an actual zombie apocalypse? Because I know how I think I would do.
Okay.
I'd be terrible.
Okay.
I think that I would just panic
Okay.
and freeze, and I would be eaten probably within minutes.
I don't know if I've learned anything more, but if you were to break it down on like a social level, like if you are very sociable and you're always out and about, your chances of turning into a zombie are greater. You're gonna be of that mass that turns more people in.
Right.
Whereas for me, I stay at home a lot. And so I think maybe I would like be at home and then flip on the television and then realize that everything is doing the thing.
So you're saying, if you're like out there doing whatever, like, hey, I'm gonna go to the coffee shop, that you're more likely to run into the ground zero event.
You're done.
Okay.
You're done. Like, but for me, homebody.
Borderline hermit.
Yeah, borderline hermit.
Shut in.
Exactly. Shut in, outcast.
Right. Misanthrope.
Yeah, vagabond. Hobo.
Gadabout.
Gadabout. I don't know if I would survive longer through skills or just out of sheer solitary confinement.
Would you just shutter everything? You just board yourself up? Or would you get out of there?
I would get out of there and try to find other people that were also hermits, so we can hermit together. But at a point, the world is nothing without another person, so,
True, Steve.
Right? I say that while also admitting my solitary confinement.
Right. I also feel like it'd be very difficult to identify the other hermits. Right? Do you just...
We all wear, like, if you're a hermit, you have like a shawl that you wear.
This just got real.
Yeah, you have like a uniform shawl. It's like a brown, leathery, really weird, gross shawl.
Oh, okay.
Like,
it's not like a nice blanket like everybody in Lincoln was wearing.
No, it's like made of burlap.
That does sound pretty hermity, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Are you pretty much a homebody? Do you kind of keep to yourself?
I like my alone time. I do. But then I go out in bursts. So if I do go out, I love being around people, and then I come home and I'm like, I think I'm good for a couple days.
Well, it's not like when you're around people, you're thinking, I wish I were alone and away from all these people.
No.
Yeah.
It's more like when I do have time by myself, I'm like, oh, this is nice.
You find it easy to be alone.
Yes.
Which some people do not.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I find it very easy to be alone.
Okay.
Like I can lose myself for hours.
Yeah.
And just like read a book or watch TV or something and then realize like, oh, I haven't spoken to anyone in
I've done that in a day, exactly.
It's kind of great.
It's great, but then like, then you'll have like random audition or something, and you're like, hello. And you like talk to yourself in the mirror just to test if your voice works.
I will say, that's too long to be alone.
Yeah.
Where you're afraid you don't know how to use your voice anymore.
Yeah, no, seriously, that stuff happens to me. That's bad. Just too revealing.
And you said the fans are pretty nice.
Yes.
Do people send you things?
They do send me things.
Yeah, I heard they do. What kind of things do you get?
I get like really heartfelt letters of saying like, hey, I really enjoy your character.
Do you mean like handwritten letters?
Handwritten letters, yeah.
Holy moly.
It's real. I mean, people don't do that these days.
No, they do not. That's touching.
Let alone children.
We've already established they're the worst.
Right, they're the worst. But they take the time out to do their freehand.
So you see like little kid writing?
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
says...
And super bubbly, and like their eyes are hearts, tiny hearts and stuff like that. But then I also get dioramas. Like I get cool stuff. I do get cool stuff. But
What are the dioramas?
I got this one where this girl made a clay version of Glenn and then made a walker and then made a tree and like a creek and like, it looked like one of those birthday cakes, but it was encased in like a plastic box. I was like, this is really good. And
shipping that must have been very difficult.
oh, her parents probably were so mad.
But now, I heard that Norman Reedus,
Yeah. he gets good stuff. Like I get good stuff, he gets good stuff.
You get heartfelt things.
I get things that are of the heart, but also free to make. It just takes time.
But Norman gets some high ticket items.
Norman gets things that don't require any skill to make, but they cost a lot of money.
Right.
Like a boob. He got a thing. He got an implant.
An implant?
Yeah, he got an implant.
One implant?
Yeah.
Norman thought you'd like this.
Yeah, call me up. This is what you can have.
This is a sample of what's inside me.
yeah. It's like.
Hey, if you like the looks of this, imagine it encased in human flesh twice.
Do you like rock hard things that are supposed to be soft? Come on over to my house. Or like he got like a guitar once. Or he'll get stuff like, I'll get a package and it'll be a giant box. And in the box at the top would be this card and be like, Steven, really enjoy your work. This is great. Here, have this drawing that I made for you. I'm like, thank you for this drawing. And I keep reading down the card and the card says, by the way, if you wouldn't mind, can you give this other giant part of the box to Norman?
No.
And for me, I'm like, you send it to him. You did this on purpose, little kid. You did this on purpose.
Wait, what? What did the little kid send to Norman?
Like taxidermy squirrels. Like he gets cool stuff.
Do you want people sending you taxidermy animals?
I mean, I don't, but I don't not.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You want people to think of sending you
Oh yeah.
dead animals in the mail.
Yeah, but I don't think Glenn has an iconic thing that he can get.
Baseball caps. Are you kidding me?
You just opened it up.
People are not, why aren't you sending him baseball caps, you fools?
7 3/8.
That's my head size.
Is it really?
Come on. This is rare.
Cheers.
Cheers to
Hey, you
7 3.
can have some of mine. You can have some of mine now. We're getting a bunch.
Before we go, I wanted to ask you, you were born in Korea.
Yeah.
So you're not even the first generation. You are an immigrant.
Yeah, I'm an immigrant.
And you're still fluent in Korean.
Yeah.
Ah, really?
I've lived here too long. Yeah.
So a lot of it has fallen away.
My pronunciation is pretty okay.
Uh-huh.
Because we only speak that at home.
So your parents made the effort to only speak Korean at home.
So it made my brother and I still retain the Korean that we had.
Right.
But not, I mean, vocabulary-wise, I'm at like a 2-year-old level. Yeah, it's really.
What if you found yourself in South Korea and you had to get around?
Oh, I'd be in jail or in someone's house tied up to a chair, like easy.
What's the scenario where you're in someone's house tied to a chair?
I just follow whoever. Like, hey, you want to get in this brown van? Yeah.
For some reason, I assumed it was for their safety. These people are like, we better tie this guy up to a chair.
Oh no.
He doesn't seem to speak our language very well.
Yeah.
Let's tie him to a chair.
Old boy.
Right. I still haven't seen it. No spoilers.
Oh, okay. You should watch it. Okay.
All right. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, no problem.
Steven, what a pleasure to chat with you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. That is it for this edition of Speakeasy. Please join us again when our guest will be a different person. If that's what's going to happen in South Korea.
No, North Korea, they take the chair and
I thought you were going to be like, North Korea gets a bad rap.
Yeah, guys, they're so misunderstood.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and check back every Monday to see who I interview next. And for more info about Speakeasy, visit mademan.com.